Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Alice with Sage Leaf Studio, and I am working on some tags that I wanted to put together. I really wasn't sure what exactly I was going to make. It was really about getting rid of a huge bin, not huge, but a fairly decent sized bin of torn pieces, cut pieces, tiny pieces, not so tiny pieces of paper that I've had kicking around in a little bin that I have. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to get with it and I'm just going to start tearing and cutting. And so I thought, well, the best way to just use up is to, make a bunch of tags. So I grabbed a cereal box, and here's the other half of it in a little section. But I used good old Tony the Tiger. Um, I used the other big side of that and I don't know, I guess the side panels. Anyway, came up with all these pieces right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And just, well, let me back up. So this piece of paper right here, which was a 12 by 12, just a single side, is what I used for my back side, if you will. I mean, it's pretty, so I kind of made everything a little vintagey looking, kind of involved mostly pinks and pastels and that kind of thing. But so the back of all of them, that one has a little embellishment there, and I'll explain that in a minute. But they're all made from the same piece, and I just thought it was pretty. So I always like to just, have sort of a plain backing, and then I just started tearing, cutting, getting everything sort of placed and inked and glued down on these tags and cut them up and stuff. But the point is I wanted to show you something that I do occasionally is when I have pieces of paper that are just strips like this. And they're great for using for, if you need something. This one's not a good example because it has a hole in it. But like when you have a long piece that has like a trim or whatever, and you just end up, you have to trim off a little bit off the end. I don't get rid of those. I like to use them. Sometimes they become belly bands. Sometimes they just become embellishments on something. But something else that I like to do is I like to fold them. And I wouldn't call this origami. I certainly do not know the art of origami, but these are, fairly crude and easy, but I just like to take them and fold them in different little ways. This one I've got a little paper clip situation going on, but they're just little strips, and I just like to take them and fold them, and I don't know, it just makes an interesting looking something. Okay, I don't know what to call them. Foldies, I don't know, flippies. I mean, they're like little tidbits to me. They're just little tidbits. Now, see, this is one that had a hole in it. These are actually left over from the 6x6 pads that I got at Ollie's in my Ollie's haul, one of the first hauls anyway. And they always have this little, the little hole for to hang, on the rack, when you're looking at them at the store. But anyway, when you cut that away, you still end up with that 6x6 piece of paper, but it leaves you with this, and I just hate to get rid of it because you never know when you're going to need a little snippet. And you can actually make these kinds of snippets even if they have the hole in them if you do it right. So anyway, and like here's kind of a different thing. I thought this would be kind of cool, like if you needed to embellish a tag, up at the grommet or the hole reinforcer, you could use one of these and loop your string or your twine or your ribbon or whatever you're, using on that tag. Anyway, I mean, just, it's just some folding and just some kind of, I don't know, it's just something different to have. So I don't know what you call these. You can call them whatever you want to. I'm going to call them maybe Foldies or Snippets, but, and then, you can add stuff to them. These I just, put some, they're not really rub-ons, they're stickers, but I just sort of put those on there. So I use them in different ways. And so like on this, I actually glued it down, wanted it to be sort of, a dimensional thing, and have it off center and hanging off the side, and put a little button, glued a little button next to it. So I thought that was interesting. On this one, it's just part of the brad that's, the string is attached to. I just, thought, and I made it to where it's movable. So that's kind of fun. This one, it's loose. So it's really just part of this tag and this, and you can put it however you want to, but it's just, part of that whole situation there. And this one I put over on this side, and I put a little bit of string. I think that's embroidery thread, excuse me, and put this little guy here with a little button on him. So anyway, I was just finishing up, and I thought, I ought to let you in on this. And I was thinking about, what could I use? I had a few of these laying around here, and I don't really think, well, this might be able to work here. I don't know, but let me show you. Okay, let me show you with this thing. Oh, and I have this other piece here. I forget. This one's from Alice in Wonderland, from the Stamperia set of Alice in Wonderland. And this is from, sorry about that. I had to get up and turn my fan off because it's choking me. This is from like the Voyages Fantastique. I don't know. It's another Stamperia set anyway. But I saw that and I thought, I guess it's really this way. But I was thinking that would be cool to slice and make some little things. I mean, I don't go slicing up paper to make these, but I do have a lot of strips laying around. Of course, I've got all this stuff, which I knew I would have left over, but oh, I'm telling you, this was such a bigger pile. And I'm so glad and feel so good that I was able to use up a lot of it in this, situation here. So anyway, but here's this strip. So like on these, and I noticed that I tend to make them going off in this direction. This one I didn't. This one I went off in this direction. But most of them, it looks like I kind of start here and I go this way. Start kind of center and go this way. So let's see if I can do it. Let's do this one the different way. Do I want it this way, or do I want it this way? I think I want it this way because I like the interest of this extra little area here. So I'm just gonna fold that up. And this is fairly forgiving. And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead, and I like to ink these up pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and ink it now while it's still manageable. I have been known to unfold it and ink it once I kind of figure it out. And I'll still have to ink like where the folds actually go, but it's going to make it a little bit easier if I go ahead and ink this. And I don't really need to do the other side, but I will, just because it could show. And I just want it to seem like it's been around for a while. Anyway, I'm just, I'm trying to be thrifty, but not hoarding little snippets of paper. So I think if you can find, sometimes I do. I have like a piece of paper and it's so small, like this. Where was it? I just had a little piece here. Like, I mean, there's a microscopic piece. I don't need that. I'm throwing that out, I mean, at some point you kind of got to go, okay, this is clutter, and I don't need it. I mean, I'm utilizing a lot of pieces, so I don't feel bad if I throw some stuff in the trash. It's okay. I don't know. It is kind of, sometimes it gets a little unmanageable. Anyway, all right, so here we are. So we're going to fold this way, and then I'm going to try to, it's just a matter of folding, and you can leave it a little, you don't have to like press it down and make it completely flat, but then we're going to start turning. So I'm trying to go this other direction since I had so many things that were going the other way. So I'm just going to, and it doesn't matter how, if you want to make them real tight, like if you just want to have like just a little bit of space in between and they sort of make a fan. And see, like on this one, I only got 3 folds out of it, but that's okay. Look at how big it is. I mean, I don't even know where I'm going to use this. So I try to just kind of match up what's going on down here at the base. And like right now is a good time to go ahead and get these other folds inked a little bit. And you can spread it out if you want, as far as making it a little more fan-ish, or leave it sort of tucked within itself. But that's really all there is to it. Now if it was longer, I would have gone ahead, I have done that where I folded it back over itself. Like this is probably, there's nothing exciting going on the back of this one, so I'm probably just going to glue it on something. I've used them inside journals, on the fronts of journals. I can't even think if I have one laying around here somewhere that has one on the front right now, but it's just a good way to kind of show, have something sort of interesting looking. So I like that. So this is my last flap. There's really no reason you have to glue down everything because it'll pretty much stay together. But if you feel like you need to, then you can. So I'm going to grab some glue real quick. Hope that my glue isn't all dried up. Appears to be okay. So all I need to do is get in here. You can see that. I'm just going to go up here, sort of like in this area. I can kind of see better once I get going here. Oh, I'm kind of doing it on the wrong side. Yeah, I really want this side here. Okay. There. And that's all it really takes. I mean, it doesn't need a ton, and later on, if you decide, you really want to batten it down, you can go back and stick your glue through there and get on the insides of those. So this one's interesting because it's, double-sided, but you're not always going to have that. What else do I have that? No, these were all, this one maybe, no, they were all double-sided. But anyway, not this, because that was a book page, which I like that because, there's some interest in there with, words. So anyway, but yeah, so that's done. And we'll set that guy off to the side. So I think that I want to make something that would look good with this. So I'm going to hurry and ink it. And the reason I say hurry is because really it's about, I don't want to have to put my lid on my glue again this soon. But I want this blue side to show. It does have a cute, florally pattern on the back side, but it's kind of a more modern floral pattern, if you will, than what is going on with these kind of vintagey looking tags. So yeah, okay, so there's that. Okay, so this one I keep messing with because I can't decide how big I want to make it. So I've got that. I'm gonna come over to here. I'm gonna fold over right about in there. I'm going to come over here. Yeah, like that. And then this, I don't have it, it's too long there. Could cut it off, but I like for it to be a little sturdier. So I'm just going to fold it about halfway down. So there's my circle. It's no big deal. It's in the back. And then just leave this like this. So now I have this. Yeah, I like it. And I think that would be pretty up there too. Or I could get here. I don't want to cover up the lady. She's kind of one of the focal points there. So I think maybe I'm going to put it right there. And I don't want it to be too much bigger than this because I don't want it to be overbearing here on this. I need to glue that down. Here. Well, here we go. We got the glue right here, so I need to do a little touch up there. Sometimes the corners, get out of control. So there's that. All right, so I'm going to grab my ink and just give these little folds a little extra right here. Okay, so yeah, I like that. And then I'm just going to take this, just get some glue on here. I mean, this isn't rocket science, okay? I'm fully aware it's not. And it's really just a simple folding situation. Again, don't know origami, think it's pretty cool, but no, I'm not into it. I'm not doing it. Maybe this would look better. Well, and it's kind of covering up. I want it this way. I think I want it this way. So I'm going to grab, I'm not going to get my crocodile out for this. So I'm going to go in where I think it's about in the center of the whole situation. And it's formidable because I'm going through like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of paper there. And that's not super duper cardstock or anything. But I think I don't have to center it, but I guess I will. Let me get that in there just so I know where I'm at there. Yeah, I like that. And let's give it a little hole reinforcer. I could do a brad, I guess, but I don't know. I've mostly been into, oh yeah, I could do a hole reinforcer that I make out of a piece from the set, because that's what I did here. Here and here are actually made from that page, from that paper. So, but yeah, this can be this. And let's go ahead and put one, about to be out on that sheet. Let's go ahead and put one on the back. I always like to kind of give it just a little brush with the ink, just to kind of make it not quite so new looking. So there. So that's done. I don't know what I kind of like using this twine. I think I still have some over here. Grab my scissors, and you don't want to see the state of affairs that this one ribbon basket is in. It's not pretty, I'll tell you that right now. And every time I think I'm going to get it cleaned up, it ends up worse. So anyway, but here we go. So I'm just going to this and so now it's free flowing. Even put a little something right there if I wanted to. Maybe I'll find a little piece of ephemera. But anyway, so this was just running a paper clip through it and there's a little bead on that just for looks. But you could use it as, you could let it be helping you hold a page or whatever with the paper clip, or you could just leave the paper clip in there, glue this down to something, and let that just all be the embellishment there. So anyway, but I just, wanted to just let you in on something that I'm sure I did not invent at all, but I don't really see a lot of people do this, so I just thought I'd mention it. And yeah, so there we have it. And I need to get busy on other things, but wanted to bring you along for this, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any comments or suggestions about different ways to utilize these or different folds that you use, I would love to hear about it. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.